Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto becomes the Demigod Youkai, part 2, the last part. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Naruto, I think you really need to explain what's going on, said Tsunade, as she was the first one to come out of her shock. It's like I said, Granny, the girls are the daughters of gods, just not our gods. As it turns out, the gods we know aren't the only ones around. We just don't know about their gods, since their gods and ours don't really get along. Mostly because of Thalia-chan's dad, said Naruto. Hey, said Thyla. Tell me I'm wrong, said Naruto with a deadpan. Was Thalia's answer. That's what I thought, said Naruto with a smirk. Naruto, this is all a bit hard to believe. It's like I told Tsunade, there are plenty of shinobi that have been revered as gods, and their parents could be no different than those same shinobi, said Jiraiya. Naruto could only sigh as he looked at Jiraiya. The man could believe a prophecy given by an old, blind, drugged-up toad, but he couldn't believe that other gods existed. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not, pervy sage. I'm telling you facts, and facts don't change just because we don't believe them, said Naruto. And just because you believe in the delusions of some crazy kunoichi doesn't make what you say. We live in a world run by Kami, Yami, and the Shinigami, with only Amaterasu Sama being above them. You spouting off about non-existent gods will only anger them, said Jiraiya. We can bring back the dead, as puppets, and summon the Shinigami himself, but you can't believe the existence of gods other than the ones we know of. You need to open your mind, pervy sage, said Naruto, well knowing if either of his mothers or Lady Styx heard Jiraiya talking like this, they would be pissed. We'll talk about this later. Right now I want to know about your skills, Naruto, said Tsunade. That was a lie. What she really wanted to know about were the girls that seemed to be close to her little brother. Well, I've trained hard and pushed myself to my limits with the girls helping me, but I can't really compare myself to anyone in shinobi standards, as I really don't know how I would compare, said Naruto. Sure, he was trained by 3 goddesses alongside demigoddesses, but he had no clue how he compared against trained and experienced shinobi. Well, in that case we'll have to have you tested to see where you stand skills-wise. Now what about your friends? Asked Tsunade. We would like to become ninjas of the village. We'll even take the test alongside Naruto-kun, said Anaba, speaking for the group. Tsunade sat there staring at the group with her fingers laced in front her. To the demigoddesses it was like Tsunade was trying to find their weakness and then break them down. Very well then, Naruto, I want you to take your friends to Training Ground 7 where you'll be tested by Kakashi, said Tsunade. Sure thing, Granny, come on girls, let's go, said Naruto as he walked out of the office with the girls following him. You can't be serious about this, said Jiraiya once Naruto and the girls were gone. I am very serious about this, Jiraiya. In case you didn't notice, Naruto and those girls are very close, and Naruto even said that they were training alongside him. If they're skilled, then they'll be a boost to our forces, plus by watching them we can probably get a better idea of how Lady Styx treated them and what she taught them, said Tsunade. I see, you want to see how the girls and Naruto fight and act in order to try and see what influence that Styx woman had on them. Fine, now let's get to the training ground. I actually want to see if Naruto has improved any, said Jiraiya. Training Ground 7. Tsunade, Jiraiya, Kakashi, and Sakura arrived at the training ground and found Naruto and the girls stretching and limbering up. Jiraiya was once again entranced by the way Selena's breasts moved as she stretched. Tsunade noticed this and decided to change things up in order to get Jiraiya's mind out of the gutter. Naruto, I've changed my mind. You, the girls, and Sakura will be tested by Jiraiya. Sakura, you'll be tested as well, since I'd like to see the results of your training from an outside perspective. The test is simply, fight until I tell you to stop or your opponent is unable to continue, said Tsunade. Sakura walked over to join the group while wondering how she could work with these new girls, since she knew nothing about them or their style. Why do I have to do Tsunade? Asked Jiraiya. Because I said so, said Tsunade. But I actually wanted to talk to Naruto before this, so can it wait just a bit longer? Asked Jiraiya. Your talk can wait until after the test. Now get over there, yelled Tsunade. Alright, geez, said Jiraiya as he walked over to the group. So you're the pervert that peeks on women and pushed Naruto off a cliff. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this way more than I should, said Clarisse as she cracked her knuckles and was giving Jiraiya a wicked grin. The others simply nodded along. Being a pervert was bad, but being a pervert that threw their boyfriend off a cliff was worse. Jiraiya shivered at their looks as it reminded him of Tsunade when she caught him peeping on her. Alright, the test is about to start. Some last minute advice is to come at me with the intent to kill, said Jiraiya. Don't worry, we planned on doing that, yelled Clarisse. Anyway, the test begins. Now, said Jiraiya. As soon as that word left his lips, everyone disappeared into the trees around them. A few minutes passed with Jiraiya just standing there while trying to sense them. They're good at hiding, and I can barely sense their chakra, Jiraiya thought to himself. Suddenly 4 Narutos came running out of the forest. Jiraiya prepared to fight, but when they got close, instead of attacking they dispelled and blocked his vision with a cloud of smoke. Quickly realizing that it was a distraction, he turned just in time to block a punch from the real Naruto. Jiraiya saw the foxy smirk Naruto had on his face, and ducked under a sidekick from Claris. With that began a fierce Taijutsu exchange between Jiraiya, Claris, and Naruto. During the fight, Jiraiya noticed that Claris and Naruto fought perfectly together. While one was attacking, the other was defending, and they covered each other's blind spots and openings, as if it was second nature to them. He also noticed that their attacks carried a lot of power behind them. Now he understood how Naruto was able to block Sakura's punch so easily before. Soon though, both Claris and Naruto were able to land a palm thrust to Jiraiya's chest and push him back a few yards. Jiraiya was about to go back to attacking when he saw Selena and Thalia jump out of the forest. Water style. Water bullet, yelled Selena, as a large bullet of water shot out of her mouth. Lightning style. False darkness, yelled Thalia, as 3 spears of lightning shot from her mouth. The two combined together and formed a bullet of electrified water headed straight for Jiraiya. He dodged to the side only to see Sakura coming at him from above with a heel drop. Images of the damage that Tsunade could do with that attack flashed in his head, as he instantly knew he didn't want to get hit with that. Heavenly foot of pain, yelled Sakura, but before she could hit him, Jiraiya jumped back and into the air. Now take the shot, yelled Naruto. Just then 3 arrows came flying out of the forest and straight at Jiraiya. Seeing that he had no other choice, Jiraiya used the substitution to get away, but as soon as he appeared on the ground, he found Annabeth being thrown at him by Naruto. He had no time to get his guard up, and, as a result, was stuck in the side by Annabeth's vicious right hook and was sent skidding back. No one noticed that her right hand was steel gray. Damn, she doesn't look like that, but she is scary strong. I better stop holding back, as these kids are proving that they didn't waste time training. Jiraiya thought to himself. Alright, great job everyone. Annabeth-chan, that plan of yours worked like a charm. Praised Naruto with a foxy grin. Sakura simply smiled in return, while other girls blushed a bit at his praise. So all of that was planned. Yes, I see now. Naruto used his clones first to block his side in order for the real him to go in for an attack, but that was also a distraction, so that Claris could attack. When that didn't work, they both kept Jiraiya on his toes and distracted him, while Thyla and Selena got into position to launch, which forced Jiraiya to dodge and pretty much jump into Sakura's attack. When Jiraiya dodged that by going into the air, they had that Bianca girl shoot arrows at him, since he would be unable to dodge while in the air. But then when he used the substitution to escape, they already had Annabeth flying at him for one final attack. That is one incredibly thought out plan. If Annabeth really thought that far ahead, her mind must be on par with Nar. Tsunade thought to herself as she watched the match closely. Alright girls, be ready. Now that we've shown Pervy Sage that he can't take us lightly, he'll come at us with a lot more force. Use Lady Styx's gift if you have to, said Naruto, as the demigoddesses smirked at him while Sakura looked confused. Flashback. The demigoddesses stood in front of Lady Styx after a hard day of training with her, Hera, and Hecate. The 3 goddesses looked at the demigoddesses in pride at all the hard work they put into training. Sure, they complained sometimes, but they never gave up. It was this hard-working attitude that helped Hera get over her dislike of Thalia, and having a son like Naruto has softened her heart to others. After all, it wasn't Thalia's fault that her husband had an affair. Alright girls, I have good news for you. After seeing how well you've done in training, and with helping Naruto, I've talked to the Shinto gods and explained the situation to them. They've agreed to give you chakra, as well as one special gift of your choice. Think about this carefully, as there is no changing your mind after the gift has been given, said Styx. And think carefully. They did. They had read a great deal about Naruto's world and the powers people had in it. After talking it over amongst themselves for a while, they finally came to a decision. We've made our decisions, Lady Styx, said Annabeth, speaking for the group. Flashback end. Jiraiya, hearing the part about using a gift, decided not to see what that woman had given them, and quickly charged in for an attack, while going much faster than before. Naruto appeared in front of him though, and they started to trade blows. They were evenly matched in strength, so they started to slowly increase the speed of their attacks, until either one of them outpaced the other or one of them made a mistake. In the end, Jiraiya was faster than Naruto, and hit him with a right hook to the jaw, and a kick to the chest, launching Naruto away. First gate of opening, open. Second gate of rest, open. Yelled Claris, as she rushed in before Jiraiya could react, and started to rain punches and kicks on him. This was the special gift that Claris had asked for, the ability to open all of the 8 inner gates without dying. She couldn't open all of them right now, but she was working on it. Jiraiya did his best to block or dodge her attacks, but the ones he blocked actually rattled his bones to the point it felt like they were going to break. He knew he had to get away from her or else he risked serious injury, but before he could do that, Claris landed a hard hit to his chest that sent him flying back. Before Jiraiya could correct himself, Sakura appeared behind him and smashed her fist into his back and sent him forward again. This time though, Annabeth was in front of him with her right arm turning steel gray. Steel style. Decapitation. Yelled Annabeth as her arm hit Jiraiya's neck and decapitated him, though after that his head and body then crumbled away into dirt. An earth clone, said Annabeth in surprise. Steel style had been the gift that Annabeth had asked for, as she knew she wasn't the strongest demigoddess, but with this she had strength and defense. I've got you now, yelled Jiraiya as he ran at her from behind with the Rasengan in his hand. Annabeth had no time to move out of the way and was struck in the middle of her back and launched across the field. She rolled across the ground until she finally slammed into a tree. Tsunade, Shizune, Kakashi, Sakura, and Jiraiya all looked a little worried about her until she simply got up and dusted herself off like nothing had happened. But how? Asked Jiraiya in surprise. Annabeth simply turned her back to Jiraiya and lifted her shirt a bit to show that her lower back was steel gray. It'll take more than that to get through my steel style. Impervious armor, said Annabeth. She was so glad she had tested her armor with Naruto's Rasengan in order to make it stronger, or else that last attack would have taken her out. Hey Jiraiya, would you please stand still for me? Asked Selena using her charm speak. Jiraiya didn't know why, but he felt compelled to do as she wanted, so he just smiled and nodded. Selena simply smirked at this, as she clapped her hands together, then spread them apart, revealing a large ruby red spear. Crystal style. Ruby ring, yelled Selena as she threw the spear into the air where it shattered, and sharp shards of rubies rained down on Jiraiya. Crystal style was the gift that Selena had asked for, since it was very rare and very versatile, plus she had to admit being able to create priceless gems on a whim was pretty sweet. Seeing the danger he was in, Jiraiya tried to move, but for some reason he couldn't. He quickly remembered Selena asking him to stand still, and figured that it was some kind of genjutsu, so he flared his chakra, and was able to get away at the last moment. Though, as soon as he did, he had to dodge arrows shot at him by Bianca, but he didn't notice that she was leading him to a specific spot, and once he got to that spot, he was punched in the face by Naruto. The punches caused him to stagger a bit, but he was able to catch Thalia's high kick by her ankle. The problem was that the way he was holding her ankle allowed him to see up her dress. Jiraiya giggled pervertedly at the black lace panties she was wearing, which was not a good idea. Naruto saw this, and while he was pissed at Jiraiya for looking up his girlfriend's dress, he was even more scared at what he knew was coming next. He quickly began to back away so he wouldn't be caught in the crossfire. You perverted bastard, yelled the demigoddesses, as they all released a shit ton of killing intent. Shadow style. Shadow entrapment, said Bianca, as she placed both hands on the ground, and shadows rose up and took hold of Jiraiya's arms and legs. Alright girls, he's restrained, set it up, said Bianca. Shadow style was the gift Bianca had asked for since she was the daughter of Hades. The shadow style was actually very easy for her to use, thanks to her connection to the shadows. Steel style. Steel fist destruction, said Annabeth, as her right hand became covered in multiple layers of steel with her knuckles growing spikes. Crystal style. Diamond coating, said Selena, as she coated Annabeth's weaponized hand in diamond. Black storm style. Black lightning coating, said Thalia, as she coated Annabeth's hand in black lightning. Black storm style was the gift Thalia asked for since, as a daughter of Zeus, she had natural control of lightning, plus she thought that being able to use black lightning would be badass. Third gate of life, open, yelled Claris, as her skin started to turn red due to the increase in blood flow. She then quickly grabbed Annabeth, started spinning, and then threw her towards Jiraiya. It's over for you, pervert, doomsday fist, cried Annabeth, as she punched Jiraiya right in the nuts. When she first made contact there was an explosion, and when the dust cleared, Jiraiya was laying on the ground with face stuck in a silent scream of pain, and his eyes completely white, while Annabeth stood over him with a victorious grin on her face. Kakashi looked on in horror at what just happened, and quickly put his porn away, and covered his crotch. On the inside he was profusely thanking Kami that Tsunade didn't have him do the test. Sakura and Shizune had neutral expressions on their faces, but on the inside were jumping in joy, as they had caught Jiraiya peeping on women in the hot springs many times before. Naruto was off to the side, and simply shook his head at Jiraiya. I warn you, they were different from Granny Tsunade, said Naruto. Tsunade on the other hand had a cruel smirk on her face. Serves you right, you damn pervert. These girls though are quite strong, to hold their own against Jiraiya, even if he wasn't going all out, is nothing to scoff at. Plus they have steel style, crystal style, shadow style, storm style, and one of them can open the 8 inner gates. They'll definitely be a boost to the village, Tsunade thought to herself. Well, since it's clear Pervy Sage can't continue, I think the test is over. What are your skills, Granny? Asked Naruto. Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, Shizune, Thalia, Selena, Claris, Bianca, Annabeth, and Tsunade were currently at the Konoha hospital, waiting for Jiraiya to be finished with his treatment. The reason Tsunade wasn't the one treating him was because since his injury wasn't life-threatening, she did feel obligated to help him, plus she wasn't too concerned with saving Jiraiya Jr. Kakashi looked over to the 5 demigoddesses that seemed pretty proud of what they had done to Jiraiya, so he decided to get to know them. So you're the girls that have been training with Naruto. I'm Kakashi Haddock, Naruto's team sensei, said Kakashi, introducing himself. Hey, aren't you that guy that stuck his fingers up Naruto's ass during his genin test? You know where we're from, we call people like you a pedophile, said Claris. The rest of the demigoddess looked at Kakashi cautiously and took a step away from him. Behind them, Naruto was trying not to laugh, as he knew his girls were messing with Kakashi. They made it clear to him that they didn't like that he read porn in public and had favored Sasuke. Kakashi paled when he felt Tsunade's killing intent on him. He paled even further when he saw the look she was giving him. Tsunade was furious, as she was never told of this particular event. She would not accept having another Orochimaru in the village, let alone one trying to violate her precious little brother. Kakashi, is what she said true? Asked Tsunade in a dangerous voice. Now Lady Tsunade, well, that event did happen. I assure you it's not what you think, said Kakashi, sweating a bit. His answer didn't seem to help, as Tsunade's facial expression only got worse. Sakura, did Kakashi ever touch you inappropriately while he was supposed to be training you? Asked Tsunade. Kakashi was a bit happy that Tsunade decided to ask his female student that question, as he had never done anything to her, so she would help him out of this situation. What he didn't know was that Sakura saw this as the perfect way to get back at Kakashi for always reading his porn in front of her, and for always being late. Sakura looked down at the ground so that her hair would shadow her eyes, and then used her right hand to grab her left arm, and started to shake a little bit. It looked like she felt great shame about whatever she was about to say. He said that it was for training. That what he was doing to me would help me grow stronger. He said that while I might get sweaty and dirty, it was what all Kunoichi did, and I was expected to do it too, said Sakura. At this point, if it wasn't for his mask, Kakashi's jaw would have hit the ground. He had actually said those things to Sakura, but he was talking about actual training. He wasn't sexually abusing her. She had taken his words and made them sound horrible. Tsunade knew her student was lying, but she was enjoying watching the pervert squirm. The demigoddesses, on the other hand, didn't know Sakura was lying, and were pissed. Bianca, hold him down, said Thalia while Anubis first turned steel gray. Kakashi quickly substituted with a log before Bianca could use her shadows to grab him, and then ran away, so that he wouldn't suffer the same fate as Jiraiya. Naruto, Sakura, and Tsunade couldn't hold back anymore, and started laughing after Kakashi ran off. The demigoddesses were confused until Naruto explained that while what happened to him was true, Sakura had just twisted Kakashi's words around, and made them sound bad. A few minutes later, a nurse came to the group with a report on Jiraiya's condition. Alright, I have good news, and bad news, Tsunade-sama. The good news is that Jiraiya-sama's testicles were completely destroyed, so we had to replace them with prosthetics, and recreate his sack with skin from his ass. The bad news is we were able to save the shaft and head of his penis, with the upside being that all the nerves in his penis were fried, so he'll be unable to ever get an erection, said the nurse with a smile. She had been one of the many women Jiraiya had peeked on, and wasn't ashamed of the fact she was happy this had happened to him. Naruto shook his head at this, as while he had warned Jiraiya that being perverted with his girls would end badly for him, he still felt bad that a fellow man had pretty much lost his manhood. All of the women in the room couldn't stop smiling, however, and the demigoddesses looked proud of what they had done. Can he have visitors? Asked Tsunade. Yes, but I would suggest only one of you at a time, said the nurse. Very well, Naruto goes to talk with Jiraiya. I'm going to take your friends back to my office to make them official ninjas. I'll tell you my evaluation of your skills when you're done with Jiraiya, said Tsunade. Naruto nodded before going to talk to Jiraiya in his room. When Naruto got there, he found Jiraiya sitting up on his bed with a morphine drip hooked up to him to help him deal with the pain. Hey pervy sage, how are you feeling? Asked Naruto, though he felt like he already knew the answer. I feel like shit, kid. How could you let them do this to me? Asked Jiraiya. Hey, I warned you that they would do something like this if you acted on them. Not to mention they don't like that you once threw me off a cliff and like to peek at women, said Naruto. Are you saying I deserve to be punished just because I appreciate women? Asked Jiraiya, completely ignoring the whole being thrown off a cliff. Naruto noticed this, and deadpanned at Jiraiya before shaking his head and becoming serious. Naruto reminded Jiraiya way too much of his father at that moment. We need to have a serious talk, Jiraiya, said Naruto. What do you need to talk about, Naruto? Asked Jiraiya just as seriously, as Naruto never uses his real name. Why didn't you tell me you were my godfather, and why weren't you around? Asked Naruto. Jiraiya's eyes widened at this, as there was no way that Styx woman could have known that information, unless she had a spy in the village. Jiraiya narrowed his eyes at this, as if that was true, then this woman had planned all of this for a long time. How did you come across this information about Naruto? Asked Jiraiya. My mother's told me. Don't avoid the questions, said Naruto. Naruto, you only have one mother, and she is dead, said Jiraiya. No, I have three, and their names are Kushina, Hare, and Hikate. One died the night I was born, giving her life to save mine, and the other two saved me from losing myself. Now answer my questions, said Naruto, losing his patience. That sixth woman already has too much information about Naruto and revealed too much to him before he was ready. Now there are two more unknown women with this information. Worst of all, they've got Naruto calling them his mothers. And what does he mean by they saved him from losing himself? Jiraiya thought to himself. Naruto, you need to tell me. Jiraiya was interrupted by Naruto putting his fist through the wall. No, Jiraiya, I'll answer your questions, but you have to answer mine first. Why didn't you tell me, and why weren't you there? Asked Naruto. These were questions Naruto really wanted answers to. He knew there were plenty of reasons why Jiraiya never told him, and why he wasn't around, but he needed to know the reasons from Jiraiya himself. Jiraiya was shocked at Naruto's display, but sighed, and decided to answer his questions. Naruto, you have to understand that I couldn't just come into your life after 12 years, and just say, hey, I'm your godfather, sorry I haven't been around, let's train. I wanted to tell you, but just couldn't find the right time. As for why I wasn't around, I'm Konoha's spy master Naruto. I was out following leads on threats to Konoha. Said Jiraiya, hoping to appease Naruto a bit. The first part I can understand, Jiraiya, but the second part is complete bullshit. You had to have come back into the village at some point, either to give reports or just to assure that your time outside the village hasn't affected your loyalty. At some point you could have visited me, and made sure I was okay. You could have talked to me in order to let me know that someone other than the old man cared about me. In fact, if you'd have introduced yourself to me back then, it would have made it easier to tell me that I was your godson. Said Naruto. It's not that simple, Naruto. It is well known that I was Minato's sensei, and if I had suddenly taken interest in a kid, it would have caused questions. Sooner or later Minato's enemies would have put 2 and 2 together and gotten 4. They would have sent assassins to kill you. Said Jiraiya. You're so full of it, Jiraiya. I had assassination attempts on me from people inside the village that only knew I was a Jinchuriki, and I looked just like my father at that time. I was pretty much a smaller carbon copy of my dad, and people still hated me, still wanted me dead, and still ignored me. I've learned to summon toads from you. I went to bring back Granny Tsunade with you, and I learned the Rasengan from you, and yet with all of that plus my looks, no one figured out who I was. You could have been there, yet you chose not to, and I want to know why. Said Naruto. It was because you look so much like Minato. Yelled Jiraiya before taking a deep breath. Minato was like a son to me, and when he died, a piece of me died with him. I was actually planning on continuing to run my spy network while coming back to check on you every 3 weeks, but then I saw you. You look so much like Minato even as a baby that it hurt to even look at you for longer than a few seconds. You can't understand the pain I felt at that time, Naruto. Tsunade may have left the village because she lost her lover and her brother, but I felt like I lost my child, and the pain a parent feels at losing a child is unimaginable. I honestly hope you never have to experience that kind of pain. Said Jiraiya. You're right, Jiraiya, I don't know that pain, and I'm sure I never want to. But you don't understand the pain of growing up with everyone lying to you. You're an orphan like me, but you didn't have people actively keep the identities of your parents from you while I did. And the worst part was that it was the people I trusted that kept this secret from me. I didn't know who Jiraiya was. I may have talked big, but deep down I really wanted to know who I was, and if my parents loved me. Said Naruto, as he now stood in front of the window looking out at the village. Naruto, what did you mean by losing yourself? Asked Jiraiya. Hahaha, well, you have finally answered my questions, so I guess I'll answer yours. The Naruto that smiled at everyone no matter what they did to him, that shouted about being Hokage, that was a fucking idiot, that chased after a girl that abused him more than anything. And that tried to save a prick that thinks hate and revenge are the secrets to power was just a mask I wore to hide myself from the pain that I was going through. I wore the mask for so long that it was starting to become who I was. My mother stopped that from happening before my mask broke, which you should be happy for. Said Naruto. Why is that, Naruto? Asked Jiraiya, incredibly worried about his godson now. Because if that had happened, I would have probably destroyed everything. That mask was the only thing holding back all of my negative emotions, and if it had broken while I was inside the village or anywhere really, I would have become a monster hell-bent on destroying everything in my path. Said Naruto. Did those women tell you that? Asked Jiraiya. Yeah, they did. Of everyone in my life they saw through my mask. My mother's, Lady Styx, those 5 girls, and an unlikely friend helped me through my darkest time. Said Naruto. There was a short time where I wanted you, Tsunade, and this whole village to suffer for what I had been through, but my mothers broke me of that. They told me that it was just years of anger and pain finally coming to the surface. Once I calmed down, they all started to help me cope and move on. I accepted my negative emotions, but of course I would try to put my mask back on every now and then, but they wouldn't let me. Because of my mothers, Lady Styx, and those girls that I've come to love, I am the Naruto that stands before you. Said Naruto. Jiraiya was shocked at everything Naruto had just said to him. The worst part was that Naruto was right, he hadn't seen through his mask. He knew that Naruto had most likely had a hard life, but to want everyone he felt had wronged him to suffer was more pain and anger than he thought Naruto carried. While he wanted to know who this unlikely friend was, there was another question that was on his mind. And who is Naruto standing before me? Asked Jiraiya. I'm Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze, Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, heir and Hikage, champion of Lady Styx, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, Genin of Konoha, and the next Hokage. I may be different from Jiraiya, but in the end I'm still Naruto. If you're still Naruto, then why did you let your girls destroy my nuts? Asked Jiraiya with a scowl. You abandoned me for 12 years, threw me off a cliff, stole money from me, ogled one of my girlfriend's breasts, and licked up another of my girlfriend's dresses. Trust me, destroying nuts is the least that could have happened to you. I could have trapped you in an illusion where you are forced to watch saggy old men fuck each other for the rest of your life. Said Naruto with a dark look in his eyes. You're bluffing, you suck at Jinjutsu. Yelled Jiraiya while being really green in the face. A lot has changed over the years, Jiraiya, a lot has changed. Said Naruto with a foxy grin on his face. Jiraiya swore he saw Naruto's pupils become slits once again before returning to normal. But Tsunade. Tsunade was sitting behind her desk after finishing the paperwork to make the 5 demigoddesses into official ninja, now though she was deciding their and Naruto's rank. Standing on either side of her desk were Shizune and Sakura, both having come to see what would happen to the girls. The demigoddesses were sitting in front of Tsunade's desk waiting for Tsunade to finish, and for Naruto to come back and show them around the village a little more. So girls, why don't you introduce yourselves to me again, but this time with the name of your godly parents, that way I have a better idea of what I'm dealing with, said Tsunade. Tsunade did notice that Sakura glanced over at her when she mentioned godly parents. It was clear that Sakura still didn't believe in this whole other gods, and the girls being demigoddesses thing. Very well, I'll go first. My name is Annabeth Chase, daughter of Athena the goddess of wisdom and war, said Annabeth. My name is Selena Borgard, daughter of Aphrodite the goddess of love, said Selena. My name is Clarice LaRue, daughter of Ares the god of war, said Clarice. My name is Bianca D'Angelo, daughter of Hades the king of the underworld, said Bianca. And my name is Thalia Grace, daughter of Zeus the king of the Greek gods and ruler of Olympus, said Thalia. Thank you, and it's nice to meet you. Now tell me, what was training like with Naruto? Asked Tsunade. It was interesting to say the least. Well, it started off slow once we got that emotional mask he wore off, things picked up, said Clarice. Emotional mask? Asked Tsunade, Shizune, and Sakura at the same time. Yeah, he wore an emotional mask in order to hide his pain and sadness. You didn't know that? Asked Annabeth. I had no idea, said Tsunade while feeling ashamed of herself for not noticing it. Shizune felt the same way. She had experience with watching Tsunade mask her own pain with sake and gambling, so why didn't she notice Naruto masking his pain with a smile? Wait, that can't be right. Naruto has always been so happy, energetic, and hard-headed. It doesn't seem like he would need any type of mask, said Sakura. Being happy, energetic, and hard-headed was his mask. Naruto pretty much made himself look like a happy-go-lucky idiot in order to keep people from seeing just how sad and lonely he was, said Annabeth. What's he like without the mask? Asked Shizune. He is not all that different really. I guess you can say he's more balanced. He's a bit more serious though. He still knows how to have fun. He's not an idiot. He thinks things through rather than rushes in and comes up with plans on the fly, and he's not as trusting as before. Though with that whole planning thing he can still come up with plans on the fly, he just doesn't do it as much, said Selena. I see. Well, it's good to hear that he hasn't changed too much, said Tsunade. You know, you girls and Naruto seem pretty close, said Sakura. Well, I should hope so. We are his girlfriends after all, said Thalia. You're what? Yelled Tsunade, Shizune, and Sakura at the top of their lungs. Ow. Please don't yell like that again, and yeah, we're his girlfriends, said Bianca while rubbing her ears along with the others. That pervert, when he gets here I'm gonna punch him so hard, said Sakura before feeling the demigoddesses glaring at her. He's not a pervert, we were the ones that decided to share him since he couldn't choose one of us, said Selena. And you don't get hit by him anymore, that's our job, said Clarice. But all 5 of you can't date Naruto. He'll have to choose one of you to marry sooner or later, said Sakura. The girls just smirked at Sakura before looking at Tsunade, who sighed. That's not completely true, Sakura. Thanks to some special circumstances concerning Naruto, he will be able to marry all of them if their relationship gets that far, said Tsunade, as she narrowed her eyes at the demigoddesses. What circumstances could possibly allow Naruto to marry 5 different girls? Asked Sakura. That is something that Granny Tsunade actually can't talk about, Sakura, said Naruto walking through the door. And why is that? Asked Sakura. You'll find out soon enough. Now Granny, I believe you wanted to tell us what you thought of our skills, said Naruto. Naruto, are you a virgin? Asked Tsunade out of nowhere, making everyone in the room turn red. What the hell, Granny, you can't just ask a guy that, yelled Naruto. Answer the question, Naruto, said Tsunade while studying him and the demigoddesses. Oh, I see what's going on. Look, Granny, I completely understand that you have needs, and I've become even more handsome over the years, but you're my boss, it wouldn't be right, Plus while I do love you, I only love you like a big sister, even if I call you Granny," said Naruto before being hit in the middle of his forehead by a paperweight thrown by red-faced Tsunade, causing him to fall onto his back. "That's not why I asked, now answer the question," yelled Tsunade, ignoring how everyone else was snickering. "Oh, fine, yes, I'm still a virgin," said Naruto while getting up and rubbing his head. Not for lack of trying on Selena's and Thalia's part. Annabeth made Naruto and said girls blush while Bianca and Claris laughed at them. Sakura's and Shizun's jaws dropped hearing this, and Tsunade glared at Selena and Thalia. "Wait, it's not my fault, I am the daughter of the goddess of love after all, so of course I'm a bit more affectionate," said Selena. "And what's your excuse?" asked Tsunade looking at Thalia. "My dad is a well-known horn dog that tries to hump anything in his skirt," said Thalia. She shrunk back a bit when Tsunade's glare increased. "That did not help your case, Thalia-chan. Anyway, what did you think of Granny?" asked Naruto, changing the subject. "Well, your teamwork was spot on, and I can tell that you guys have more up your sleeves than what you showed, so I've decided to make you all chunin, especially you Naruto. The missions you completed before you disappeared warranted a field promotion anyway," said Tsunade well on what to do when the council learns that they have 6 new chunin. Naruto smiled at this, but before he could say anything a woman came into the room in a rush. "Hokage-sama, urgent message from Suna," yelled the woman. Naruto was pacing back and forth as Tsunade had just explained that Gaara was kidnapped by members of the Akatsuki, with one being identified as Dadar. If it wasn't for all the training he went through, he would have demanded that he be sent to save Gaara, so while he wasn't reacting rashly, he was still pretty anxious. "Alright, I've decided on a plan of action, though I have to admit that it is very unusual," said Tsunade. "What is your idea, Hokage-sama?" asked Sakura. "Naruto, I know you literally just got back and just became chunin, but I'm putting you in charge of this mission to rescue the Kazukiage. You know him better than any of us, and I can practically see the determination to save him in your eyes," said Tsunade. It was then that Naruto became more serious than anyone has seen before, well except his girlfriends. "Thank you, Hokage-sama," said Naruto. "Don't thank me just yet, as the mission hasn't started just yet, and I can still assign someone else to lead this mission. First, I want to hear the plan you have in mind in order to complete this mission with the best results possible," said Tsunade. Naruto closed his eyes and thought hard on a plan. He needed it to be really good, so as to prove to Tsunade that he could handle a leadership position, and that her faith in him would not be misplaced. It was a full minute before Naruto opened his eyes. From what I know, the Akatsuki travel in pairs, so there were at least 2 of them when Gaara was attacked and captured. But Gaara being the Kazukiage, he's no pushover, so at least one of them was injured in some type of way while fighting him, but how much, and if said injury impairs their fighting ability remains to be seen," said Naruto while pausing here to think a bit more. Tsunade, Shizun, Sakura, and the hidden Anbu were actually a little impressed so far with what he was thinking, but Tsunade wasn't too convinced yet. "For this mission I'll be needing myself, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura, Annabeth, Thalia, and Claris. I'll also need another team entirely, maybe Team Guy if you can spare them," said Naruto. This got Tsunade to raise an eyebrow. "Care to explain your decision?" asked Tsunade. "I know Gaara the best, so of course I should go. I'm not stupid enough to think that a bunch of chunins can handle a mission like this, so I'll need jonins like Kakashi-sensei, Guy-sensei, and I can only guess out of everyone at least Nichi has made jonin by now. It's easy to tell Sakura has been trained by you, so I know she's a great medic. Annabeth is good enough at medical to assist Sakura if need be, and is a brilliant strategist. Thalia and Claris are frontline assault experts, and Guy-sensei, Lee, and Tenten are all very offensive fighters from what I remember. I'm also using information from my own encounter with the Akatsuki to pick these teams, because from what I can understand, the pair that is chosen to go after a Jinchuriki have abilities that can counter the abilities of the Jinchuriki and their Biju," explained Naruto. Tsunade thought over everything that Naruto said to her while staring him in the eyes. She had to admit that Naruto had made a fine choice in teams, and with sound reasons. "Very well, you have your mission, Naruto. I'll call for Kakashi, and then you and your team can leave for Suna," said Tsunade. "Thank you, Hokage-sama," said Naruto. "Hey, how come we have to stay behind?" asked Selena with Bianca nodding. "I need both of you here to establish the Uzumaki Namikaze clan, answer some questions that I know Hokage-sama has, and maybe see the village a bit more," said Naruto. Selena and Bianca knew what Naruto meant by seeing the village. Lady Styx had warned them about a man named Danzo, and how he would most likely try to get his hands on them. Naruto was basically telling them to stay behind to make sure that evil man doesn't try anything, since he would most likely see the 6 demigods as weapons. Plus they were the perfect team for something like this. Selena could get anyone to do what she wanted, and distract anyone, while Bianca's stealth was better than even Naruto's, so she could get anywhere, and spy on anyone. "Alright Naruto, will stay behind, you just go, and save your friend," said Bianca. Naruto nodded before turning back to Tsunade. "Thank you once again, Hokage-sama," Sakura, once you have everything you may need, meet me at the front gate. We'll be leaving as soon as the whole team is ready," said Naruto before leaving the office with Annabeth, Thalia, and Claris following him. It took 30 minutes before Kakashi and Sakura met with the demigods at the front gate. Tsunade had explained what was going on to him, and he was greatly surprised not only by Tsunade's decision to let a newly appointed Chunin run this mission, but also by the fact that Naruto had come up with such a good plan. Alright, now I'm sure both of you know what the mission is, and just how important it is. We are saving the cage of an ally nation, and we don't know how much time we have to do it. With this in mind, there will be one speed, mine, and if you can't keep up then I hope you can catch up because I will not be slowing down unless it is important to the mission. Now let's go," said Naruto before taking off with everyone following him. As they jumped through the trees, Kakashi and Sakura couldn't help but glance at the girls. It worried them that these girls were coming along on such a dangerous mission, not only because they've only known them for less than a day, but Kakashi wasn't sure they fully understood what they were going up against. In the end, it was Sakura that decided to bring it up now of all times, in order to get a better understanding of the girls and the situation. She jumped up next to Annabeth since of the three girls she looked like the one that wouldn't outright attack you if you said the wrong thing. Funny since that's how she tended to act. "Hey, Annabeth, right?" asked Sakura. "Yes, that's my name. Is there something I can help you with?" asked Annabeth. "I just wanted to know if you're doing alright and are ready for this mission," said Sakura. Annabeth raised an eyebrow at this, and was inwardly glad Sakura decided to talk to her about this, instead of either Thalia or Claris, as either of those two girls would have been offended, and thought Sakura was questioning their skills. "I'm fine, and I can assure you that I and the others are more than ready for this mission. You need to remember that while you were trained by one of the best ninjas in your village, we were trained by gods. And before you jump to conclusions, I'm not being arrogant, as I'm sure that there are people that can beat us, but when we work together we are damn near unstoppable," said Annabeth. "Damn right," yelled Thalia and Claris, as they could hear the conversation. "Then why are we here?" asked Sakura. "Because Naruto isn't an idiot. He knows that this is just as much of a test of his leadership skills as it is a rescue mission. Not to mention the higher-ups will question Naruto's loyalty to the village," said Annabeth. "Why would they question Naruto's loyalty? He's always had what's best for everyone in the front of his mind," asked Sakura. "Naruto has been out of the village for years training with someone that has no loyalty to the village. It's understandable that they would be worried about the possible ideals that may have been implanted into his mind," said Annabeth. "Look alive everyone, we got someone up ahead," called out Naruto. As they got closer, Naruto then recognized the four spiky ponytails that the person had. "Temari," called out Naruto. Said girl stopped when she heard someone call her name, and turned to see Naruto. "Naruto, is it you?" asked a surprised Temari with white eyes. "Yes, it's me, and well, I would love to catch up with you. I'm afraid we're in a hurry. Please come with us, and Kakashi-sensei will explain the situation to you," said Naruto. Well, a bit confused about what was going on, she still did as she was told, and started jumping next to Kakashi. Once she was told the situation, she was understandably worried, and was happy Naruto was setting such a fast pace, though it also confused her that a Chunin was leading this mission, but she wasn't going to complain. Soon they made it to the desert, where Naruto allowed Temari to take the lead, since she knew the desert the best. But Temari leading the way, it wasn't long before they made it to Suna. After getting into the village, they went to the hospital, where apparently Kankuro was being treated for poison, though the doctors weren't having much luck. It took a moment, but Naruto managed to convince the doctors to allow Sakura to treat Kankuro, with Annabeth acting as her assistant. Now we find Kakashi, Thalia, and Claris waiting in the hallway while Naruto was off examining Kankuro's destroyed puppets, his reason being that he wanted to check if Kankuro managed to get something useful in tracking the people that took Gar. A few moments later, Temari walked over to them. "Hi, I'm Temari. We didn't get to introduce ourselves on the way here," said Temari. "Hey Temari, I'm Thalia Grace, she's Claris LaRue, and the one helping Sakura is Annabeth Chase," said Thalia. "It's nice to meet you. Are you friends of Naruto's?" asked Temari. She had been to Konoha a number of times over the years, and had never seen the girls there before. "We're his girlfriends," said Claris bluntly. This surprised the hell out of Temari. She'd admit that Naruto was a lot better looking now that he wasn't wearing so much orange, but she didn't think he'd pull off having 3 girlfriends. "Before you say anything, there are 5 of us. 2 stayed in the village to take care of some things," said Thalia. "He has 5 girlfriends," yelled Temari in shock. Temari then became embarrassed when the doctors and nurses glared at her for yelling. "Yes, he does. We decided amongst ourselves to share him since he couldn't pick between us, and didn't want to hurt us. Plus, with him being the last of his clan, he would have had to take multiple wives anyway," said Thalia. "Naruto is the last of the clan?" asked Temari. "Yeah, but I'll let him explain it later, as right now we need to focus on saving your brother," said Thalia. "We'll be able to do that once we know that Kankuro will be alright," said Naruto, walking up to them. "You found something?" asked Kakashi. Yes, in the hand of one of Kankuro's puppets. I found a piece of fabric that has a scent on it. That doesn't belong to either Kankuro or Gar. I'll be using this scent to track them when we are done here, said Naruto. Since when can you track scents? Asked Temari. I'm a Jinchuriki, I've always had enhanced senses, said Naruto. I'm more surprised you don't want to go after them right now, said Kakashi. The Akatsuki are dangerous. I don't want to go up against them without a medic on the team. Now we just hope the girls don't take too long, said Naruto. Kakashi nodded at this, and was impressed with Naruto's thought process. In Konoha, Tsunade sat behind her desk with Shizune standing off to the side while Selena and Bianca sat in front of her going over the papers Naruto would need to sign in order to establish his clan. Hokage-sama, why does Naruto-kan need to sign these papers if his clan helped build this village, and his father was the Hokage? Asked Bianca. Lady Styx had explained a lot about Naruto's clan, and just how close it was to Konoha. While the Uzumaki clan was indeed a big part in Konoha's creation, it was never actually established as a Konoha clan. Mito married my grandfather, and therefore became a Senju, and Kushina never went through the process of establishing the clan. Also, while Minato was the Hokage, he wasn't for very long, and he also didn't go through the process of establishing a clan since he was an orphan. Plus, being Hokage doesn't automatically make you a clan, said Tsunade. I see, does that mean that the Uzumaki don't have a seat on the council? Asked Selena. They do, but it was more of an honorary thing since no one ever sat in it, said Tsunade. Kushina could have, but that woman hated politics with a passion so great everyone thought she would destroy the council chambers if she ever even stepped foot in there. Tsunade then sighed, as she decided to get some information on these girls' parents. So how about you two tell me something about your godly parents, said Tsunade. It was clear she was still skeptical about believing that their parents were gods. Well, my dad has a bad reputation due to being the king of the underworld. He has a bad temper, but that's mostly because he's overworked with all the souls he has to manage, and all the paperwork he has to deal with, since people die every day. Despite all of this, I know he loves me, as he did a lot to protect me, and my brother while growing up, and when Lady Styx gave him the chance to help me control my shadow powers he came running, said Bianca. My mom loves all of her children, and gives us all tips to look our best. The problem is that even though I have to admit she isn't the best role model, while she loves making people fall in love and spreading love around, she also loves drama and heartbreak. She'll purposely cause couples to have problems for her own entertainment, and breaking a guy's heart is almost like her favorite sport, said Selena with a sigh. She didn't like that side of her mom, but the woman did love her and her siblings. Selena then felt a large amount of killing intent directed at her from both Tsunade and Shizune. I sure hope that you haven't inherited that trait from her. It would be a shame if I had to kill you for hurting my little brother, simply so you could have some form of sick entertainment, said Tsunade. Selena was sweating at Tsunade's words. You have nothing to worry about, Hokage-sama. I'm actually sort of the black sheep of my siblings. While they care a great deal about their appearance, and tend to shy away from manual labor, I don't mind getting down and dirty with work, and only really care about my appearance to a certain degree. I don't get too hung up on how I look unless Naruto is involved, said Selena. Tsunade and Shizune continued to stare at Selena for a full minute without blinking, which freaked Selena out, before Tsunade hummed and went back to her paperwork. Shizune continued to stare before she had to leave in order to get Tsunade more paperwork, something Tsunade hated. Selena was just happy that her boyfriend's big sister figures weren't staring at her anymore. And thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.